Now, solving inequalities is just the same as solving equations, except when we multiply or divide with a negative number, inequality is reversed. So, for example, let's take 6 greater than minus 10. This is an inequality. Now, let's say we multiply both the sides with a negative number like minus 2. In this case, the inequality is reversed. So here we have 6 into minus 2 minus 12 and minus 10 into minus 2 20, and instead of greater than sign, we're going to put a less than sign. Now let's try to solve an inequality and represent it on the number line and graphical display. So let's just consider this inequality 2x greater than equal to x minus 3. Here you just solve it like you would do an equation. So take all the x terms on one side and all the constants on the other side and solve it. So here you have 2x, x gets to the other side, minus x greater than equal to minus 3. So x is greater than equal to. So this means that x can assume any value including minus 3 and above. So let's try to represent this on a number line. Now before we represent the inequalities on the number line, it's important for you to know the meaning of two symbols here, this and this. The first symbol is used when a value is not included. So for example, when I say y greater than 2, y is assuming all the values that are above 2 and 2 is not included. But on the other hand, when I say y greater than equal to 2, I'm going to use the second symbol because here I'm including the value 2 as well. I'm saying that y is greater than 2 as well as y can also be equal to 2. So now that you know the symbols, let's just get to drawing the number line. Here to represent this equation, I'm going to draw this number line. You have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And here you have negative numbers. Now here it says that x is greater than equal to 3. So I'm going to take 3 and all the values above it. So I'm going to use the second symbol. I'm going to put this symbol and draw the line to the right of minus 3. So that's with the number line. Now let's try to represent the same inequality x greater than equal to minus 3 on the graph. So before we draw the graph, we should know the meaning of two lines here. First is this dotted line and the solid line. So the dotted line is used in cases where we're not including a particular value. So an example would be x greater than 5. So when we say x greater than 5, we are talking about values of x which are over 5, which are above 5 but not equal to 5. And for the solid line, we can take x greater than equal to 5. So in this case, we're taking x as 5 as well as the values above 5. So we are including 5. So that's why we're going to draw a solid line in the graph of this inequality. So yeah, let's get back to x greater than minus 3. So first step is just to draw the graph here. This is, let's say, x-axis and this is y-axis. Now x greater than minus 3. So x values start from the negative side of the scale. So let me just write this, mark this as minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5 and so on. So x greater than equal to minus 3, that line is over here and I'm going to draw a solid line because we're including the value minus 3. Now when you're drawing the graph, you have to shade a particular region. Which region? Should it be the left hand side of this line or the right hand side? So here we're taking all the values starting from minus 3 and going towards the right. So that is the portion that is required. That is the portion that is necessary for taking the values of x. So whenever you're shading, remember that you should shade the unnecessary part of the graph. The unnecessary part is all the values that are less than minus 3. So you're going to shade this region of the graph. Alright, now that we know how to solve an inequality and represent it on the number line as well as the graph, let's try solving this question over here. So it says a car hire firm charges $30 per day plus a flat fee of $240 to hire a car. Nima has no more than $470 to pay for the car hire. Write down an inequality that represents Nima's situation. So before we get to the writing part, let's first decide the variables here. So let's take X as the number of days that she hires the car for, and let's take Y as the amount of fee that she has to pay. So it says that Nima has no more than $470. So the first inequality can be written as the amount of fee that she has to pay, which is Y, should be less than or equal to $470. That's the first inequality. Next question, it says solve the inequality to work out the maximum number of days Nima can hire the car for. Now the equation or the inequality which gives us the fare for the x number of days is this 30x plus 240. So depending on the value of x, if you substitute it there, you get the amount of fare that she has to pay. Now here, this amount 30x plus 240 should be less than equal to 470. The reason for that is the amount of money that Nima has is only $470. So the amount of fare that she can afford should be less than or equal to 470. So when you solve this equation, you get 470 minus 240. So you get 30x is less than equal to 230. And x is approximately 7 days. So this means that Nima can hire the car only for 7 days, not more than that. So that's the maximum number of days she can hire the car for. If I have to represent this inequality on the number line, it will look something like this. This is, let's say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. So here x is less than equal to 7. Since it's including the value 7, I'll use this symbol. And it says less than equal to 7. So it represents the left side of the symbol. So this is how you represent on the number line. Put a dot and draw a line to the left side of 7. Now if you have to represent the same thing on a graph, then just take x equal to 7 over here. Yeah, let's say this is the point where x is 7, and draw a solid line here because again it includes the value 7, right? So you don't have to draw a dotted line. Draw a solid line. Now comes the shading part. We are concerned with the region less than 7. So the unwanted part is the right side of this line. So I'm going to shade the unwanted or the unnecessary part. And this becomes the necessary part. Now drawing a graph of an inequality with a single variable is super easy. So let's say you have this inequality x greater than 3 or x less than equal to 8 or x greater than equal to 7. So the common thing in all these inequalities is it just includes one variable, which is x. When this is the case, remember that the inequality is always a vertical line. So let me take an example here. Let's try to represent x greater than 3 here. So first of all, mark where x is 3. So that would be this point. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So this is where x equal to 3. So there, draw a vertical line. And now this vertical line is going to be dotted. The reason for that is we are taking x greater than 3, which does not include 3 itself. So that's why we're just going to draw a dotted line. Now, after drawing this line, you also have to represent which is the useful part of the graph and which is the unnecessary part of the graph. So we do not have to be concerned with values of x less than 3. So we don't need the less than 3 part of the graph. We don't need the left side of the graph. So I'm going to shade the unnecessary portion of the graph. and on this side, whereas on the right side of the line we have the necessary portion. Now similarly, let's talk about inequalities that have only y as the variable. For example, y less than 3, or y greater than equal to 2, or y less than equal to 9, and so on. So whenever you have a single variable which is y, remember that it's always going to be a horizontal line that is horizontal, that is parallel to the axis. So let's try representing y less than 3 here. So first of all, figure out where y less than 3 is. This is 0, this is the origin. So this is 1, 2, 3. This is where y is equals to 3. Now draw a line there. Since we're taking y less than 3, which means 3 is not included, draw a dotted line. Had it been y less than equal to 3, then you would have drawn a solid line. So right now we're just drawing a dotted line. And now you have to shade the unnecessary region of the graph. So we are only dealing with y less than 3 part of the graph, which means we don't have to bother about the y greater than 3 part. That is the unnecessary region. So I'm going to shade the upper portion of this line. And this is my useful region. Now let's talk about an inequality that has both x variable as well as y variable. So an example would be x plus y less than equal to 8. So this is an inequality that has both the variables in it. How do you draw a line which represents this inequality? So the first thing that you do is put x equal to 0 and figure out the value of y. So let's take x plus y equal to 8. Let's take the equation part. So when x equal to 0, you get y equal to 8. Now this time, the next time, just put y equal to 0. When you put y equal to 0, you get x equal to 8. So from the first sentence, you get the coordinates x comma y as 0 comma 8. From the second sentence, you get the coordinates x comma y as 8 comma 0. So just plot these coordinates on the graph. So let me take 0 comma 8 first. 0 comma 8 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This would be 0 comma 8. And 8 comma 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, this is 8. So this would be 8 comma 0. Let me just write it here. Now just draw a line joining these 2 points. So that would be something like this. This is x plus y equal to 8. Now you notice that I drew a solid line because this x plus y, it also includes 8. Now you have to shade the unnecessary region. So when we say x plus y less than equal to 8, we do not have to deal with the part that is greater than 8. So we don't have to deal with the region above this graph. This is the unnecessary part of the graph. Whereas the other side of the graph, the lower side of this line, this is the necessary region. This represents x plus y less than equal to 8. So this is how you draw an inequality on the graph if both the variables are given. You take x equal to 0 and figure out the value of y. That's the first step. You get one set of coordinates there. The next step is you take y equal to 0 this time and figure out the value of x. That gives you another set of coordinates. Plot these 2 points on the graph and draw a line between them. Once you're done with that, just shade the unnecessary portion, and that's it. You have a graphical display.